to Steve McDonald's Crafting, and I'm not sure if you remember, a few weeks ago I made this bag from an old pair of jeans, well, two old pairs of jeans actually. Bagged it all out, made the handles, and if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll link it at the end of this one. And now it's time to put a little slogan on there, and all I'm going to put on there is recycle, reuse, and I'm going to put that on both sides, going across there in letters using heat transfer vinyl. It's really easy to do that. All I need to do here is click on a new project, decide on the text that I want to use, and it's much easier now as well to edit your text on Cricut, because where before you used to have to open up the text box, now you don't. All you have to do is click in that text box, recycle and reuse. So center. There we go. So it's all nice and centered, and I probably want to make it a little bit closer together once I've decided on which text I'm going to use. I'm going to have a look at text, and oddly enough, I like that. I think I'm going to go for that. Quite happy with the text, and I'm quite happy with the letter spacing, but what I would like is for it to be a little bit closer together. So line space, I'm going to go up to line spacing here, and I'm going to reduce that. So all I now need to do is measure my bag to ensure that I've got that the right size. And I want it to go about that type of angle. Let's go for about 24 centimeters by about 13. So what have we got at the moment? So width 24 by 13. So I need to unlock that there, put 24 in there and 13 in there. And now I need to duplicate that, and then I'm going to go and cut it out and make it. And it is going to fit on one mat. The important thing is here that you need to mirror it. I'm going to put the shiny side or the coloured side down on the mat and then hit continue. But before I do that, I'm going to attach it to my mat. I've just cleaned this mat as well using some good old baby wipes. Break that down. I need to choose my material, so I'll go to browse all materials and I'll go heat transfer, and this is non-Cricut heat transfer that I'm using here, so I just click done there. Make sure mirror is turned on, and it is, and face shining down, which it is. I don't need too much pressure on this because I've got a fairly new blade in my machine. And now all I need to do is load up my machine, push the little flashing arrow. I know that that is all ready, everything's ready, and now I just need to push the flashing C on my maker, and that's detecting it and sorting it all out. And this won't take long to cut at all. While that's cutting, I can get my weeding tools out and then I can weed it. While I'm weeding this, I've set my heat press temperature, and there on the packaging of this, it tells me that I need to do this for about 10 to 15 seconds. So I've set it to 13 seconds, oddly enough. And at 305 degrees Fahrenheit. My heat press is now getting ready to get to the right temperature. So I've turned this over because this is where I need to weed. So I need to weed this backing off here, and it should come off fairly easily because that leaves behind the transfer tape. Now don't pull too hard on this because you want to make sure that you're leaving behind all the bits that you want to leave behind onto this transfer tape. I do find weeding HTV a lot easier than weeding vinyl. Even if it's got an intricate design, it tends to weed, I think, a lot easier. Gently pull it apart. I mean, I can probably do most of this without my weeding tool, but if you need to, I've got a pin tool and I've got this little hook thing as well. And you can just pull it off like that. Can you see what I mean? How much easier that is. And it's also, because what you're weeding off is not sticky, it makes life a lot easier as well. because it's not sticking to you and sticking to itself and all that other malarkey. So I'm going to carry on. I'll weed both these bits and then I'm going to show you how I do the actual heat transfer onto the bag. I am so pleased with that bag. I'm going to make some more, I think, and do something with them. I've got loads of old jeans and loads of old clothes that would make lovely bags. I've even got a pair of old curtains that I think might make a nice bag as well. I've got this laid on here now and I'm putting that back into there like that, and I'm going to give it a quick press. That makes sure there's no moisture in it, but it also makes sure it's nice and flat, ready to take the actual thing. It doesn't need to be pressed for too long. There we go, that should be long enough. We can put that on there, like so. Push that down, and it'll stick to that nicely, because like I said, it already has its own backing. Cover it with a Teflon sheet, or whatever it is you use to cover it with. I'm going to push that back in there now. Push that down, and push start, and that'll automatically count down for me. And that is currently running at 3:05, which is what we said it should be running at, and for about 13 seconds. And that's now telling me that it's had its 13 seconds. So I can lift that up, pull that out like that. Now that's not ready to come off as yet, because this works when it's cool. But it doesn't mean that I can't do the other side, because I can. Make sure my little snaps off there. Make sure that's in around roughly the same place. Put my Teflon sheet on it. Push my little drawer back through. Now you can do this with a normal iron or whatever you want to use, or an easy press. I just find that this is really useful in so many different ways. And it's so much easier and quicker. And then just leave this somewhere nice and flat to be able to cool down. This is all cooled down now, so it's just about taking off this front, and I do tend to try and pull this off when I'm using it on jean material, because it's quite a heavy weave. I do pull it off a little bit slower than I normally would, and that's not a bad practice to do either. And it does look like it's stuck on there really well, and this will be washable. Not that it'll need washing very often, but it will be washable. What I meant to say was, I also, before I went over this, I did go over the material with a lint roller as well, to ensure that there was no lint or dust or anything stuck to this. And that does make a big difference when you're putting on heat transfer vinyl. And if when you first do this, you find that it is lifting, then just go and stick it in again for another few seconds, or for the amount of time, and that will stick it right down again. It might be that the glue didn't get heated up as quickly or as evenly as you wanted it to. So there we go, recycle and reuse. Well, both sides are now finished, and that's on there nice and permanently. I'm really pleased with that. So recycle and reuse. If you want to know how I made the bag, it was really simple, and lined it and did it all, then check out the video that's coming up next. It will be linked in the card. It's easy to do, and you can use any waste material you want for it. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or get hold of anything that I've used today in this video, then the links for that, along with lots of other links that are useful, are also in the description below. Take care, enjoy your crafting, bye.